Who'd have thought one of the best alien films of the past few years would be a Predator movie? Hello, interwebs. I hope you are all doing well, and I am here to review the latest Predator movie, Predator Badlands. Badlands or Badland?
Badlands, I think.
Lands.
Yeah.
There's multiple lands. And as you can tell, I am here once again with my lovely partner, Erin, who is joining me for this one. She hasn't joined me for a while, so
I think Superman was the last one.
Yeah, we did Superman. So now we're talking Predator, which I guess I'll start off first to talk about my thoughts on this. Kind of generally speaking, I really liked this one a lot. I mean, I've been a big fan of Dan Trachtenberg for a long time. I didn't even realize, I saw an interview with him while, prepping for this movie when we were going to go out last night, and I realized that he was, like, the person who made the Portal fan film.
Oh, see, I'm not familiar with, I know he did Prey, but I don't know what he did before that.
He did 10 Cloverfield Lane, which is the
underrated
other one.
movie.
Oh, I love 10 Cloverfield Lane. I think that was his first feature that he did. And he's done a few other things, I'm blanking on the top of my head, but then he did, obviously, Prey, and then Predator, Killer of Killers, and then this is the third of his, like, Predator trilogy.
I keep forgetting Killer of Killers was a thing.
Yeah.
Solid movie, too, but I almost kind of forgot it as soon as I saw it.
Well, I mean, that's kind of what I find fascinating about this movie, because I really like what it's trying to do, because it's clearly Dan Trachtenberg wanting to, like, explore the culture of the Predator, or the Utaja, or whatever you're supposed to say him. He really wants us to call them that in this movie instead of Predator. And what I like about it is it's finally getting us to see it from their perspective. We have this young Predator, Utaj, that we're following, and it's supposed to be like, okay, here's the sort of ostracized member of this community of, like, might makes right mentality, and sort of learning about their culture through this, like, ostracized, dare I say queer, quote unquote, in terms of, like, being, outside the norm. And I think that that's really fascinating. But it's also so interesting because it's like, how do you do a normal Predator movie after this? Our cat Kipo has betrayed me and now gone to her.
He made the right choice. Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, it's like, how do you do, like, I liked Prey because it was like a return to form for the Predator franchise, but like doing it in a new way where you learn about indigenous culture, like it's centering indigenous culture in that story about like masculinity and might makes right Predator stuff, and then the Killer of Killers movies. Oh, he's just curling all up on you. He is the Killer of Killers movie was like doing the same thing with like little vignettes and anthology stuff. Then this is kind of its own whole thing. I'm curious, like, and so I like the concept of it. I think it's very, very cool, and it's like a natural evolution of the franchise, but it's also in a weird way like you have to go weirder after this point, which I really respect.
Yeah, I mean, this is like you said before, this is the first time we really get any kind of backstory into the Utaj. Oh God, I forget the actor. But like the Predator community and stuff like that. So yeah,
the Predator community. You're just like, there's the queer community, there's the Predator community.
Clearly, this is the first time, because it used to be a wholly just kind of maskless killer going around, like, kind of tracking people down. So it's kind of, especially if you're going to be on the fifth movie. I don't know. I'm not too familiar with like the history of it.
There's so many. So I know you've seen a few. There's the original Predator. There's Predator 2, which I know you haven't seen. There's the two Alien versus Predator movies. There's Predators, which I know you've seen that one. Right. There's The Predator, which is terrible. I think that's Shane Black did that one.
Wait, was that after Predators?
Yes.
See, why can't they just have numbers? Like, now it's so confusing.
I know.
And like Predators comes before The Predator.
I know.
It's tough. It's tough to track at this point. But
it's almost as bad as the Alien franchise.
But again, if this is somewhere around the 5th to 7th movie, we're going to need some sort of, I guess, like some backstory into them.
No, it is the natural evolution. It's just one of those, like, once you flesh out their culture, like, do you go back to doing like a normal like I'm thinking studio executive brain. Like, I actually think this is really great. It's what I like about it. But like studio executive brain, it's like, all right, how do you go back to make like a normal Predator movie?
Right, like an intimate like story, like Prey was, where you only had the two handful of characters and him going off and hunting down unsuccessfully a Native American warrior.
Yeah. And so it's such an interesting evolution in that front. I think we talked about this last night as we were coming out of it. Like I ended up really liking this movie, and I'm going to talk positives in a second, but I guess I'll put my negatives up front. I think there's two things that kind of threw me. One is my own personal taste thing, and the other is I think something for the movie, which is the big concern that I have that's like just a criticism is this is taking a rated R franchise that's usually very grounded and bloody and all of that stuff, and it's taking it and making it a little bit more action adventure-y and a bit more Disney, I think is the best way to put it.
PG-13, wasn't it?
I think it was. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think it was PG-13. It would make sense. There's no, like, human blood in it and
I was going to
anything.
say it was more all the green alien blood, which I thought, I didn't realize that was a qualification for becoming an R movie, was
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't hurt, you know what I mean?
No, I don't this didn't feel any distinctly less violent than a previous Predator movie. Again, I haven't seen all of them, but...
Oh, I mean, this is, to me, I mean, I think maybe it's distinctly... It's probably about the same level of violence, in terms of, like, if we consider, like, all the creatures, like, the same. But, like, in terms of, like, violence in a very realistic way towards, like, human beings, which is what would qualify it for an R-level, R-rated thing. It's so much more fantastic.
Are there any human beings in this?
No, unless you count the synths, which, you know, you can argue whether they are... They're not human beings, but they are... I would consider them sentient beings, considering how they've been shown in the Alien-verse and everything. Yeah, and I mean, like... The Disneyification of it that I think is my big problem. I think is like, again, it's is he gonna betray us again?
I think he's
coming back to you. He's coming back to me. Here comes Kipo.
It's a fickle creature.
Oh no, he's running away. Anyways, the Disneyification of it was like there's two things where we have this predator kid. He's going to this planet to, like, he's considered the weakest of his clan. His brother gets killed. Full spoilers here. This is like the first 5 minutes of the movie, but, like, spoilers we're gonna get into here. And so he, like, wants to prove himself that he's the strongest to his dad. And so he's going after this, like, this big creature that no predator has been able to kill. And he runs into, like, a little monkey creature, which I really loved. Like, I think, like, the whole story of this is, like, found family and, like, oh look, he's got his weird little, you know, found family group of people. Again, very queer in sensibility. Sure. And I liked that a lot because he also hangs out with this Weyland-Yutani android from the Alien universe. And I liked that, but there's these cute moments throughout the film where, like, the monkey thing, like, spits on him, and it's like...
I love the spitting back and forth.
It was cute.
Marking a family.
It's cute, but then, like, during an action sequence, like, the monkey's helping him, and, like, it's waving the arm, and it's, like, this comedic beat, which feels so weird in a Predator movie.
Right, and I think I'm with you, where I really enjoyed, like, the inclusion. I mean, like, and I guess I'm a sucker for, you know, the Marvelification or the, you know, the cutesy toy, the Baby Yoda of it all.
Yeah.
It did more or less work for me, but I'll grant you that the waving did seem a little more added on top, like, a little more gratuitous than it needed to be. It was just really hammering the home, like, oh, look how adorable I am in the final climactic kind of giant, like, action set piece and everything. So, yeah, it did feel slightly tonally jarring to just have that shoehorned in there and stuff like that, but the character beat as a whole, like I said, I'm a sucker for them, so I can't help it, really.
Oh, I am too. I think that, and this is where, like, you know, this is where we kind of, like, disagreed last night, but it was like, I agree with you. I enjoyed it. Like, on its own, I actually really like this movie, and I like those beats, like, they're cute and adorable. I guess I'm just the cynical filmmaker's like, oh, I see this Predator franchise that's usually very grounded getting kind of turned into this more MCU, like, oh, mass market appeal thing. Like, oh, we can take it from a rated R franchise into, like, we can sell it to a wider audience and kind of shave off some of its edges. Which, again, it makes a good movie, and it, like, develops its culture in a really interesting way that I like. But it is a little, like... there's a cynical part of me of, like, I see where this is headed, and that scares me. But again, I trust Dan Trachtenberg. He's been 3 for 3 so far for me. So I mean, like, as he stays in charge of it, I think, you know, there's good directions this could go in. I just worry, again, the studio executive brain that I've been poisoned with.
Especially if there's another sequel, it's usually always, like, more of everything. So, you know, more of that. Like, are we going to get twice as much, like, winking and waving at the camera in an eventual sequel, like, follow-up? But like you said, you know, the 3, I did enjoy both of them, despite me saying that I kind of forgot the animated follow-up. What was it? Killer of Killers?
Yeah, Killer of Killers.
Yeah, even though, like, I kind of forgot that, I still really enjoy both that and Prey. So I'm still have faith that he can follow up with this and do a really solid sequel. But, like, you do always kind of wonder, because it did seem like there was some studio notes besides just, like, the waving, that you could tell this is more of intended to be a blockbuster movie, which it succeeded. Like, I had a lot of fun, and this was great in the theater. We had the
we got the D-box thing,
which was actually really spot on. Like, it kind of put you in the middle of all the action. But sorry for the pre-ad for the vibrating chairs.
Oh yeah, we're getting those D-bucks.
Yeah, that's really where the money's at. But no, it was a great, giant, big cinematic experience. So it did feel like a big blockbuster, but there was kind of, again, like, it did feel like a studio blockbuster movie. So again, I have faith that he can do it, but we'll see what kind of comes out of it next.
What did you think of, because this is, cause you know me, Alien is one of my favorite franchises. I love, like, dystopian, corporate, like, cyberpunky, but also horror sort of thing. So I love the Alien franchise. So we got the Weyland-Yutani android. And for listeners, she has never seen the Alien movies. And so over the past few, like, months or so since Alien Earth came out, you you started watching Alien Earth, you've seen Alien Romulus, and you went through and watched all of them, like all from Alien all the way to like Prometheus and Covenant.
The swings in quality amongst those movies is just, something
You were
else.
suffering through Resurrection so hard.
Because 1 and 2 had such great highs, and they were both distinctly great in their own unique ways and stuff like that. But I was so in on the franchise as a whole, and then to go from 2 into 3, I mean,
3
especially
has
back to
moments.
back.
Yeah.
No, but the first 15 minutes of 3, like not to spoil all that stuff, are really rough. I mean,
Yes.
out of the highs of the end of 2. So just to have those 2 back to back in a couple of days, like my God. So there's a lot to like in the Alien franchise, but I'm sorry, 3 and 4 are just not good movies.
Yeah. I like Charles Dance in 3, but 3 and 4 are not great. 4 is especially trash. But anyways, to get to this movie, like I always love that sort of stuff. And what was fascinating to me about the pitch of this movie, I'm curious your thought about it, is like we obviously have gotten Alien and Predator before those movies, but those are like much more action, dumb, fun movies. I enjoy the first Alien versus Predator movie. The second one is also trash. Don't watch it. The first one is fun in a this is so bad it's good kind of way. This one I was kind of more hoping, because it's Dan Trachtenberg, being like, okay, we're gonna marry this sort of like discussion of predators being like this might make straight society that like underlies a lot of like, you know, colonial societies, fascist societies, and then take it and like have this conversation with like this android, the synth, who is from this capitalist culture of like we used you and like we deperson you, which is always kind of what the synths are used for in the androids or in the Alien franchise, of like how they're like seen as like how corporations view people. And like some androids like Ash in the first movie are like, you know, company men. Some are like actual beings like Bishop and like trying to be seen as people to a degree, even though they deperson themselves. So I think that like there's some cool stuff to like marry the like fascist society predator with like the corporate world of the alien world. And I thought that they started to do that really, really well here, and we get some cool discussions in this movie about like the Predator viewing our synth character. I forget her name off the top of my head. Do you remember what her? Tessa.
Tessa and Talia. Tia.
No, Thea. Thea's the main one, and then Tessa's her sister, who's like the corporate evil one. I think is how that goes. So like Thea, we get this like the Predator says like you're a tool, and that's how he like the Predator justifies taking her. Is like you're not a friend that I'm working with. You're a tool to use.
While the mental gymnastics that he has to do
to make it justify.
Yeah.
Which I found really interesting. And that fits that sort of corporate mentality of we use you. And then you obviously have Tessa, the evil one, sort of being like, I'm the corporate one, I'm going to like, we use each other.
To be fair, the corporation did more or less say, we're going to kill you unless you do this thing, so I'm not sure how much of it is evil versus she's just a cog in an evil machine, but I get it. Like,
but that's part of the discussion. Yeah, that's part of the discussion, right? And I think that that's fascinating. And again, going into like the queer metaphor, I mean, we were in the theater and I leaned over to, because we have Thea talking about like, oh, I got to be with Tessa and everything. And I'm like, so gay. Yeah. Obviously, they relate it more to being sisters in the movie. So it's not overtly like, oh, there's like love, like queer love in that sense, but it is like this like a version of a social relationship that they're not supposed to have under a corporation that she's sort of going against. And so I found that to be like a really cool dichotomy. I think where I bumped up against it, and again it comes to like, oh, this is a sort of simplified Disney action adventure movie, and I was kind of like, you know, I'm thinking Alien Earth, which I really liked, but like I've also been reading like a lot of hard sci-fi novels, and so I'm like, oh, there's some part of me that wanted there to be like, because even Thea kind of has that like she kind of has that like quirky, like hyperfixating, like over talks kind of characterization, whereas I kind of wanted a little bit more grounded probably take on it. And this, like, again, the like over talker, like fun character is fun, but I kind of wanted a little bit more grounded. And again, that's a personal taste thing that I kind of hinted at.
I thought it was a fun dichotomy with like the Predator. Deck. Deck's completely like, you know, monotone and just very resolute in his one mission. So I don't know. It's fun to like have them bounce off against each other. At least I found it to be. Yeah,
I mean, I think it might come into like my own prejudice of what I wanted the movie to be, because what I had thought, I try to stay away from trailers nowadays. I don't watch them as much anymore.
They give away way too much.
And so I was like, okay, I heard this, and I'm like, what I thought would be kind of interesting, and again, this is my own bias coming into the movie, it's not the movie's fault, which was like, oh, the android, the synth had been abandoned there for hundreds of years, and she'd be like, oh, let's get back to the company will save me, and then it turns out she'd been abandoned like for hundreds of years on this planet or whatever. But that's my own bias, but that would have allowed for like a more grounded thing, whereas we get like the evil corporation here.
Sure.
So like that was one element that I like. Again, I don't mind it works for like the tone of this movie, but again, it's a tone that I did not expect coming into it, so that kind of threw me. So that's a me thing, not this movie's thing.
Yeah, stop projecting.
I know, it's my own fault. I think the only other thing that I kind of wanted to touch upon with the movie was the ending, and this is one that we kind of agreed on, but maybe your opinions changed since we saw it last night, which was we get that final fight with Dex and his dad, and the whole like kind of plot and character journey of Dex this movie is like learning to trust others and work with others and being like it's not weakness to like work with somebody else. And to like make your own found family. And what kind of slightly disappointed me was that when he's fighting his dad, he kind of does it on his own, and then the found family comes in and like kills him. And I get to a degree, it's like okay, he's got to face his own demons sort of thing and face off and show up his own dad. But there was an element to me that would have liked to just like marry the themes a little bit more and be like he beats his dad with his found family instead of like beats his dad on his own. The found family
because
comes in.
As it currently is constructed, it's him still abiding by the rules of his archaic culture that he's supposed to be overcoming by saying like, actually, no, I'm okay now that I have this found family. I can find strength in that. I don't have to be like doing, as he said, the Utah always hunt alone and everything along those lines. So it was just almost reinforcing that like, oh, I still had to do this on my own, versus like, the new friend rips his head off, which is great at the last second, but he still had to do that on his own was kind of the message, which didn't quite like. Yeah,
it kind of runs a little counter to what the thing.
If we're trying to say that he can overcome that with found family, he didn't exactly overcome that with found family. He still did it by himself or whatever.
Yeah, what I would have liked, again, this is me writing the movie, which is not. Again, this is like what I would have done, which is you can take her with a late grain of salt. But I have like in the opening sequence, we all know the Predators are just cheating bastards. Yeah. They always cheat in every Predator movie. Like they're always like we're the greatest hunter, and they have all these tools. Yeah, they're always cheating assholes. And they're like big game hunters. Is kind of the vibe. And what I wanted to happen is in that first fight with the brother is the dad, like the brother's about to kill the dad, but then the dad like cheats some way using a tool or whatever, being like, I use this like tool that he shouldn't have or whatever. That's just like whatever, and like kills the brother, and then Dex is like, oh, I need to be strong like dad, and like I can use these tools or whatever. And then at the end, the dad's about to kill Dex the same kind of cheating quote unquote way that however he justifies in his culture of like I'm still strong if I beat him anyways. But Dex is able to circumvent that through his found family, through like the android or the like monkey creature at the end there. That's how I would have liked to have seen it happen. Whereas like, okay, they work together and it's like him counteracting his dad's sort of like whatever fascistic, what's the word? Contradictory, not contradictory. When someone says something but does another thing, why am I blanking on the word? Hypocritical. Like his dad's hypocritical sort of mindset, counteract it with that. I think that I would have liked. But again, it's still fine. It works. I just think it runs a little counter to the themes, which I think that still stands. Yeah. Is there anything else that you were thinking about the movie that you liked?
I would say overall our conversation before is I feel really focused on the negative side. I want to be clear. Like I overall thought this was a very like fun movie. I really thoroughly enjoyed this. I think the one thing we didn't really hit on. The world building of it all, the going to an alien planet, the creature design, of the monsters were so unique. Even the small things like the razor grass and stuff like that. It was a fun world to explore. It felt like a world like was fully lived in. I just had a lot of fun going around, and it doesn't. There's not a lot of time to downtime or like I just was never like thinking it kind of getting bored. It zipped along at a really fast pace. It was plus 2 hours, whatever.
It was about 2 hours. I think it was about 2 hours, almost a little closer. I think it was under, but not by much.
That's what I'm saying. It didn't really. It didn't feel that long at all. I was on as much as I could be the saying edge of my seat for most of it. So I enjoyed it. Do we have our small qualms? I would have liked to have seen it like set up differently. Maybe like one or two things I would have liked to say something or maybe pull something back, sure. But the overall structure of it, the plot was great. Like the back and forth, the relationships, the overall messaging of it all was all really great. So yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Of course, would I like tweak it maybe here and there or have like notes on a couple of things? Sure. But I thought overall it was really a fun time in the movies, especially going to see it on a big screen. This was like a fun, theater movie to go see. I
will say, and I said this about when we saw Fantastic Four. I say Fantastic because of the terrible Fox one. The D-Box stuff was actually really fun. Again, we're not hawking D-Box wares. We're not. I wish we could get the D-Box, but but no, it's they were fun. I don't like. I wouldn't go and see a movie like an indie movie on D-Box.
Of course not.
But like a big blockbuster like this, it was really kind of fun. The only other thing you just reminded me what you're saying that I really liked, and I think I remember you had a reaction in the theater to this, and it was like, yeah, that's really good, was at the end when he's like facing off against Weyland Yutani, he uses all the like stuff from the planet that he's encountered, which I thought was like a cool, like, okay, he's become one with nature instead of viewing himself as antithetical to nature, which was really cool. But then he like
the whole snake friend that came along for the ride.
Yeah, which he has used the snake thing, and then the snake thing gets killed.
Which that was a tough beat. That was honestly, that was honestly the lowest point in the movie for me.
But I liked it though in the sense that like I know she always has a very sensitivity. I know a lot of people do too. Like animals dying and
biggest bugaboo. That's my lowest of what I want to see in a movie.
Yeah, but I liked it in the sense that like when the little snake thing died, Dex was actually very angry about that.
Right, no, he had the appropriate response too. The movie treated that as well as big as a loss as they should have. They did a good job with that.
Which I thought was really cool because it could have just been like used as a tool, but it's again going to that thing of like, oh, this small subtle stuff of like, no, he views these creatures as beings now, even the like weird little snake thing, which I thought was really good. I thought that like we're not us versus nature. It's like we're part of nature.
Right, and that was all part of his whole second term when he comes back and storming the base and everything like that, which was great. Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I thought that was really good. So yeah, overall, I know I brought some more of the negatives out, but I will admit, like again, while there's a cynical part of me of like, where does this franchise go from here? As this movie unto itself, I really enjoyed it. I had brought in my own kind of expectations of like tone and having it be a little bit more harder sci-fi in line with probably some of the other Predator films. But taking it on its own terms, I really thought this was a really fun, really good like Predator action adventure movie that dealt with a lot of the themes that I kind of really enjoy. So I think just take it on its own terms in terms of tone, and I think you'll come away really, really enjoying this picture like I think we both did.
Yeah.
Cool. Alrighty, well, with all that said, I hope you all, my friends, live long and prosper.